This is the hip airplane, which is a really excellent prep exercise and mobility exercise for the outer hip muscles, particularly the glute medius, taking it through its entire range of motion and also working on single leg stability. So I'm going to show you a couple different levels and a couple different progressions within those levels. So the first one that I recommend starting with is finding a post, using a chair, something to give you some balance so you learn where you need to feel the muscles working for this exercise. So you take the balance component out of it. So I'm going to use the squat rack. I'm going to be working the left leg, soft knee bend, a little bit of a hip flexion, holding on to the post. I'm going to bend forward into a little bit of a hip hinge. I'm trying to keep my body and my pelvis nice and stable the whole time and moving together. So now what I'm going to do is start tilting my whole pelvis and my body towards the stance leg, and I'm looking for a stretch on this aspect of the hip. Once you feel that stretch, that's where you're going to work on contracting the muscle into the finish position. So from here, you're now rotating your body and your pelvis, keeping the foot firmly flat on the ground so you're not coming up on the edge of the foot, and you're squeezing where you felt that stretch. And then from here, you're going to slowly go back into that stretch position, trying to keep tension on this muscle the entire time. And you're just going slowly in and out each time, trying to maximize that range of motion through the hip. So that's the first version. Now to make it a little bit more activating, a little bit more of a challenge into the muscle, you're gonna hold on to a weight and you're gonna put the weight opposite of the working leg. So what I'm gonna do here is put the kettlebell behind me and rest it on this hip. And I'm gonna do the same exercise now. So I'm bending forward, hinging through the hip, going down. So now the kettlebell is loading a little bit more. So this muscle has to work just a little bit harder in this position. And then now I really have to use the muscle powerfully to come all the way up into the final position and then slowly back down. So I'm taking the stability out of it by just grabbing onto the post still, but I can really work the muscle with a little bit more resistance holding onto the weight opposite the working leg. So those are the first two variations. Now, the next two are going to be more freestanding, and this is a little bit more challenging from a balance perspective. So in terms of choosing the exercise, for most people, I just want you to hold on to something while you do it so you can just get the full range of motion fairly easily. But if you feel like you have that down, you have really good balance, then challenge yourself with the freeform version. So now for this one, no weight, hinging forward, same setup position to start, rotate towards the leg, feel that stretch, and then you're going to rotate all the way up. So my leg is working a lot harder now to work on that stability, but I'm really focused on keeping my big toe down, not coming up onto the edge of the foot, and going in and out, trying to maximize each position. And then you can use a weight. For the freestanding, I would probably use lighter weight than what I just did for this one, but we'll see how I do here. So holding the weight opposite hip across the lower back and getting that stretch first, and then trying to come all the way up and then back down. So much more challenging. And that one, while I was still feeling the hip, I was feeling a lot of lower leg stabilization because I didn't have that stability factor like I had in the first level of the exercise. So the main thing is going through the full range of motion. And once you have it down, then you can go to the freestanding version as long as you're still feeling that in the hip.